It is time for another edition of Overreaction Monday. With most of Week 11 in the books, I am Rich Eisen. That is Chris Brockman.
Hello, Rich.
We say hello to everybody taking this show in, either with their eyes on the Rich Eisen Show YouTube channel or the cut-down version on ESPN2 on a Monday, which is perfect because that's in the title of the show. And if you're listening to us, however you take in your podcast, we greatly appreciate that as well through the ESPN Pod Center and all those good folks that push out our content. Good to see you, Christopher.
Good to see you, my friend. How are you?
I am well. Let's hit it. Let's get right to it.
That was terrible. That was crap. That was garbage. This place sucks.
Overreaction Monday.
All right. It is all up in the air. It is the National Football League 2025 regular season. Chess pieces are all in the air. What do you have for me over there, sir?
I want to get this out of the way first, because you always like to say when it comes to rule stuff, it's got to happen on a big stage with a lot of people watching.
In order to have something change.
In order to get some change. And I think Sunday Night Football qualifies with the defending Super Bowl champions.
Okay.
When a flag is so obviously called wrong on the field, Sky Judge has to be able to overturn it.
They will never get into pass interference being reviewed, whether it is by coach challenge or Sky Judge, as you refer to it, the replay assist.
Replay assist.
It will never happen again. May there be no return to what happened after the pass interference malfunction that occurred in the NFC Championship Game between the Saints and the Rams. I understand that their heart was in the right place.
You can't have Chris Collinsworth calling it one of the worst calls he's ever seen.
Well, it was accurate in terms of being one of the worst calls.
Yeah, he was right.
I don't know what else to say other than the fact that human error will be part of officiating forevermore.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
We
have 8K TVs.
I get it, but pass interference at its core is something that is subjective. It is the way you would view a piece of art, if that's something that you're captured into going to a museum at any point in time. But what I'm just saying is I see this in that painting. No, I see this in that painting. That's instant replay. That is pass interference. Okay. An instant replay, taking a look at, well, it did kind of grab his arm. Well, actually, A.J. Brown is the one who pushed off. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what happened.
The subjectivity. Now, this was so obvious. The fact that, here's what upsets me. I always say this as well. Play better than the refs, ref.
Of course.
Rod Woodson told me at the very start of NFL Network when he first arrived, back in the early to mid-aughts, is that when it all came down to it, Chuck Noll would tell the Pittsburgh Steelers locker room, the refs are going to, at some point, screw something up. Okay?
Sure.
At some point, the refs will wind up doing something that screws us over. Play better than the refs ref. The Detroit Lions went 0 for 5
I get it. They were
on
terrible.
fourth downs.
Right.
They also got some good play from Jahmyr Gibbs, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. The Eagles defense played better in the moments that they had to than the Detroit Lions offense. So at the end of the day, the Lions were in position to get screwed over by a terrible pass interference call on a crucial third down that would have given them the ball back for a chance to go down the field to tie the game, or more likely than not, have Dan Campbell go for
it
two,
again. Right.
Which is the way I felt robbed last night. Again, these are all, if you will, first-class problems for somebody like me. Mm-hmm. My call time on Sunday morning
was so early.
Was absurd. Okay,
I get it.
The pregame show that I hosted prior to the final international game of the year between the Commanders and the Dolphins.
I really enjoyed that stadium.
Was 4 a.m. Pacific time. Mm-hmm. I was barely keeping my eyes open because I needed to see the end of this game, knowing I'd have Overreaction Monday and the Rich Eisen Show.
Was the officiating crew with you at NFL Network? Because it seemed like they had places to go as well.
I'm just saying I was one of the people, maybe similar to out here on the West Coast, similar to East Coasters, staying up damn near to midnight to see how this game ends. And the fact that it ends in such an unsatisfying way and also equally infuriating way, that we had a chance to see the Lions get a game-tying opportunity, or in the case of Dan Campbell, going for it with no time left on one single play from the 2-yard line, and we were robbed of it. Now, Eagles fans can also say, we were robbed of that opportunity in a Super Bowl with a holding penalty.
Yes, that too.
Okay. These are all subjective calls that hopefully will never be put into an instant replay machine ever again. One last quick thing. In the World Series this year, okay, when IKF decided to slide in with his feet, even though it was a forced play at home that Will Smith, the catcher of the Dodgers, had his foot off the plate and then back on the plate again. At one point in time, the entire World Series, the entire baseball season was in a replay machine for a crucial decision. At least that, it's like, is there a foot on the plate? Is there a foot?
It's black and white.
Is there a ball in a glove with a foot on a plate?
Sure.
This is subjective. That's not. That's as plain as day. Do we have enough visual evidence for something that is clear and obvious, not something that is, oh, I see it this way. You could see it that way.
I mean, the
hopefully never again.
100-time Emmy winner said it was pretty obvious.
An overreaction to start our program.
Interesting. All right, let's stay in this game. It seems like the A.J. Brown social media stuff is over, apparently, after a meeting with the owner, Jeffrey Lurie.
The closed mouth that wasn't got fed.
But
Yes.
he is still right. The Eagles' offense is pretty bad. And no matter how bad it is, it's going to be the defense, Rich. They're the best in the NFL. They're going to carry them to the NFC Championship Game.
I don't think this is an overreaction. I think having Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, two monster individuals in the middle of this line who are also freakishly athletic, along with now Jalen Phillips and Brandon Graham rushing the passer, and also Nolan Smith rushing the passer when healthy, and also with these linebackers behind them. Nakobe Dean has now been added to Zach Bond. Okay, and the guys on the back end, if the front end is working, making it even easier for two guys in Mitchell and DeJean to do what they're doing. I don't argue that this is a top-notch championship defense that is making up for an offense that still hasn't come up with an all-world game. And part of that might be, well, our measuring stick for the Eagles offense is Saquon going off for a 2,000-yard season.
But it should be more than 16 points when the Lions kind of gift-wrapped a lot of that last night.
I'm with you on that.
Okay.
But my point on this front, on the offense, is I'll go here, and I will on the flagship show on Monday on Disney Plus and the ESPN app and ESPN Radio.
Look at you.
Do we even have a great offense in the National Football League this year?
Interesting.
Anywhere.
Like top to bottom?
Top to bottom, left to right. I just went easy reader for those electric company fans.
I think a team we're going to talk about later on.
I would say the only one that comes close to it this year, where the offense is clicking, running and passing with a top-notch quarterback at the top of his game, are the Rams.
They're down the street, right?
Right.
Yeah, yep.
That's about, like, name me another one. Name me one in the AFC. I guess you could say the Bills when they're cooking.
Well, the Colts.
The Colts, a top-notch offense.
I mean, they were putting not against Pittsburgh, but the rest of the season they've been
a great offense, like a great one that we'll be talking about.
Well, the Colts don't have like the sexy name receivers, but they've been getting it done.
We might just be in a defense wins championships finally. Not Warren Sapp would always tell us on NFL Game Day Morning, defense doesn't win championships, offense does. Defense gives you a chance.
Right.
I'm just wondering if that at the end of the day, which would be interesting in a 10-year, if you will, anniversary of Super Bowl 50 in the same stadium that Super Bowl 50 was in, that Von Miller was the MVP of Super Bowl 50, and this was at the very tail end of Peyton Manning's career. We're all wondering, can the offense even do it against Carolina and keep up with MVP Cam Newton? That we may be in that situation again for Super Bowl 60. I wouldn't be surprised if Denver does go also due to their defense. I mean, you could put your Patriots on that offensive category because Drake May is balling out and Travion Henderson is now scoring a ton of touchdowns.
Yeah, not a lot of sexy names.
Not a lot of sexy names.
Yeah.
So the Eagles winning in a season where we're talking about a defense taking you as far as it can take you makes sense, and this is not an overreaction.
Let's go to the other side of Sunday Night Football, but I want to talk about the NFC North at large. Interesting division right now. The NFC North is only getting 2 playoff teams, and one of them is the Bears.
Well, I mean, the fact that the Bears entering Week 12 are leading this division after starting 0-2 in it is kind of wild. Don't forget losing on the first Monday night to Minnesota and J.J. McCarthy and almost doing it again yesterday. And then losing the next week by giving up a 50-burger to the Lions, who they have now surpassed because they're 7-3, makes sense that the Bears would be one of them. But I know what you're saying, what is infused. This is what makes you so good at the Overreaction Monday, Christopher.
Thank you, Rich Eisen.
Is what's infused in this question is that, is this still the Packers and the Lions division to win? And the Bears now one to lose. That's a great question. Let's see what Josh Jacobs comes out of any MRI machine on Monday.
Yeah.
Or Tuesday.
Keeping our eyes peeled
Let's
on that.
see about that. And let's just see if the Lions, like the Chiefs, who I imagine are on your rundown at some point in time.
It could be next.
Sitting there at 5-5.
Yeah.
If they can make a run. And invariably, somebody always does make a run. From the week before Thanksgiving and not Thanksgiving week all the way to the end. That's the old Bill Parcells axiom that the season essentially begins on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Let's see. The Bears' remaining schedule, because that's what you're talking about here, that the Bears are going to be one of them. Fascinating game. They're home against Pittsburgh next, which might be Mason Rudolph coming into town, not Aaron Rodgers, which would be a massive bummer because that's something that we've been looking forward to for weeks in terms of his Rodgers's
the ownership of
reunion and farewell tour to the division that he ruled from his Wisconsin throne for so many years, especially the Bears franchise that we all know he says he owns. It doesn't look like he's going to be making that start in Chicago. This is a winnable game for Chicago. We'll see if the Bears now start to win games they're supposed to. Their next game after that is the day after Thanksgiving against Philadelphia.
That's
Amazon
fun.
Prime is psyched that this is the circumstances for that game. Then they're at Green Bay, first of 2 against Green Bay, with Cleveland coming into town. And we all know the Grim Reaper is off the charts right now in a Defensive Player of the Year campaign with Myles Garrett. At San Francisco, which could be a massive game if the Bears don't win their division and San Francisco's looking to get the same wild card spot as Chicago. And then they finish up with a home game against Detroit. That is quite the gauntlet. If they are one of the playoff teams, they will have earned it. They will have earned it. Right now, all of these games that they're winning are by the hair of their chinny chin chin.
It sure is.
Because
But
there's
that
an
builds
orifice.
character.
There is an orifice from which Caleb Williams is winning these games and
Yeah.
pulling it out.
Yeah,
And
I
I'll
mean-
just give you this number as well.
He's doing the USC stuff, man. He's making stuff happen, and he's making plays. He's keeping plays alive.
This is what's pretty damn impressive about Caleb Williams and the Bears right now, because you can go either way. It's like, well, man, they're not looking too impressive, and then they got to pull it out.
Yep.
Or we don't see any pictures in the 7-3 standings, and they keep on
That's true,
winning.
too.
It's his 5th game winning drive of 2025, what he did after J.J. McCarthy gave the Bears the lead. Now, the drive was also helped by a kickoff return after the Vikings took that 17-16 lead that I'm sure the special teams unit in Minnesota is throwing up all over themselves about this today. But that said, it's the most, by the way, 5 game winning drives in one single season. That's the most by any Bears quarterback in a single season ever. Ever. And then the Bears won their 5th game of 2025 after trailing with less than 2 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. That's tied for the most such wins in a season in NFL history. So they have the belief. They have that feeling. I am just, for whatever reason, and I know I'll get some blowback on this, I can't quit the Lions, and I can't quit the Packers. Also, the problem is in that Week 17 game, Bears and Niners might be the answer as to which division gets 3 in or not.
Potentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just put a pin in this right now and say at this point in time, this is not an overreaction. Okay. But I think at the end of the day, the West will get 3 in, the North will get 2 in, and the Packers and the Lions will be the 2.
Oh, wow.
Because the Bears need to take the ball away in order to win games, and that might be a feature rather than a bug, but that's also something you can't count on. These are two things that you can't count on. We're going to keep taking the ball away, and we're going to keep beating you when we're down in the fourth quarter.
Seconds, sure. But then we need 3 of the last 7 weeks to get a win, to get to 10, which should get you in.
2 against Green Bay also decided.
True.
What else you got?
Let's talk Chiefs. I saw a headline this morning on the network that we're on.
Whatever you're about to say is an overreaction. The Chiefs are making the playoffs. The Chiefs are making the playoffs.
I don't know, man.
The Chiefs are making the playoffs.
The Chiefs aren't going to win more than 9 games and are going to miss the playoffs.
Nope.
Look at the schedule.
Nope.
They're 5-5, man.
Nope. I know, and they're also 5-5 for the first time in the Mahomes era.
They need to at least go. They are 5-2 down the stretch.
Let me just say why. I totally get why you're saying this.
They also look terrible.
I will say this. The Denver defense is pretty amazing.
I get it.
They are championship quality in the same way that the Eagles defense can take the Eagles as far as they take the Eagles. The Broncos defense can take them as far as the Broncos defense can take them for Denver. And I understand that the Chiefs are currently 9th in the American Football Conference playoff picture.
They dropped a spot.
They've even worse, the current 3 occupants of the wild card positions, the Bills, the Chargers, and the Jaguars, the Chiefs have lost all of them.
Right.
So they have tiebreak issues against all 3 of them. And the problem is 2 of the 3 are not in their division. So they're not going to play the Bills, the Jaguars again, as they will the Chargers, to potentially even up that deficit that they walked into the season with after losing week 1 to the Chargers in Brazil.
The Chargers have their own issues.
It's only the 3rd time in Mahomes' career that he's lost 5 or more games in a season. They have never been 500 this late in the season in the Mahomes era. They're also, a main reason, their engine to get to the Super Bowl last year was winning 1-score games. They were 12-0 in 1-score games. This year, they've had 5 1-score games. They've lost them all.
Yep.
They are still the Kansas City Chiefs, and I know this is definitely, I just gave you facts.
Yeah.
And I'm about to give you feels.
Okay.
I just won't quit them. I can't quit them.
I mean, I understand.
Put the schedule up.
I understand, but your eyes are not lying to you, man.
I understand. They got the Colts next, then they've got Dallas on Thanksgiving. They're home for Houston. They're home for the Chargers. They're at Tennessee. They get Denver one more shot, and then they're at Vegas.
They have to win 5 of those games.
Absolutely will.
I
absolutely will.
Don't see it.
Absolutely will.
I think that Kansas City offensive issues are really plaguing them. Mahomes has not been great, but they really messed up not getting a running back at the trade deadline.
Man, I would have flipped the 3 for Breece Hall if that's what it was.
2. Just they needed help in the backfield, and they did not get it, and it's really showing.
It would be helpful. Yeah. I hear you. Okay. You've given me facts, and your eyes are not lying.
They're not.
But I think my eyes are telling the truth as well. All right. Won't quit them. Next.
My eyes are telling me this because I saw it yesterday with my 2 of them with my son. The Rams are the best team in the NFL.
I don't think that's an argument. Because we're all talking about how Stafford, 27 touchdowns.
Now the
2 interceptions.
Favorite. Now the MVP favorite.
27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Okay. The last guy to do that, by the way, did not win the MVP. It was Mahomes in 2020.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. Who lost the MVP to Aaron Rodgers that year.
Oh, and Brady was awesome that year, too.
And Aaron Rodgers that year, I have the numbers. Give me one quick hot minute here. Aaron Rodgers in that season was 29, had 29 touchdowns as opposed to 27.
And went to the NFC Championship game.
Yes. I have these numbers right here. And he won the MVP that year.
He did.
And so Stafford is better, but the last guy who did it lost to an MVP quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. So Drake May might be able to best him, but I don't think Drake May is going to have as gaudy numbers like that.
It doesn't appear so, no.
Yeah, Rodgers had 29 touchdowns and 4 interceptions through the first 10 games of of his MVP season. Rodgers also was 28 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in 2014 when he won the MVP. By the way, Rodgers in 2011, through 10 games, he had 31 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Stafford's doing it. And then we all know Devontae Adams, by the way, now has 10 receiving touchdowns.
Got his 1,000th career reception on Sunday as well.
Puka Nacua lost his own first fumble of his career, but still led the team in receptions. Kyron Williams is off.
Touchdown machine.
All of these tight ends are doing what they're doing. And then the defense also picked off Sam Darnold 4 times.
4 times.
Right. And also, when Darnold did get in the red zone or
Held
did
him to
get
field
close,
goals.
they held him to field goals.
Every time.
And now the punter is putting it inside the half-yard line when he has to, and they're not missing kicks. I cannot disagree with this assertion right now. They're playing is great in all phases, and I said earlier on this show, I think they have the best offense in the NFL in a season when not many people are efficient on offense and scoring when they're supposed to, and keeping the ball when they need to, and not turning it over and taking it away when they have to, and keeping you out of the end zone so your field goals don't beat their touchdowns. It wasn't pretty. Both of these defenses are really freaking good.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and it just turns out, though, in a division that has the best aggregate record of all divisions in the NFL through 11 weeks, that the Rams are leading this division. That's not by any mistake. And thus, I agree with you. The Rams are the best team in the NFL. This is not an overreaction right here on the Week 11 Overreaction Monday.
I want to stay in the NFC West because the Niners got a big injection of life yesterday with the return of Brock Purdy. We've seen Kittle back, what he's been doing.
You can't just gloss over that.
I'm not, because I'm going to talk about them.
No, but you see the return of Brock Purdy.
Yeah,
okay. So,
can I finish?
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, thanks.
So you're not glossing.
I'm not glossing.
You're lingering.
I'm lingering.
Very good.
And we're going to talk about it at length here.
Okay.
Because the 49ers, with a healthy Brock Purdy, are a real threat to win the NFC.
I don't know about the NFC. I think they have too many losses right now to win the NFC. Unless you're saying they win the NFC.
I'm talking about to go to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, man. At the end of the day,
that offense is
I
dynamic.
No, I got it.
Kittle unleashed. And obviously, Christian McCaffrey is having an Offensive Player of the Year type season.
He is indeed. His 4th career game with 2 rushing touchdowns or more and 1 receiving touchdown or more in a single game. That's tied for the 3rd most such games in NFL history behind only Marshall and Jim Brown.
It's good company.
He is off the charts. 9th game with 100 scrimmage yards in 2025. No other player has more than 7, and this is a league that has Jonathan Taylor going off. And since joining San Francisco, McCaffrey's had 3 games with 3 or more scrimmage touchdowns, all of which have come against, by the way, Arizona. He's got a thing for him. So he does it in division. And Kittle is performing well. He had 2 receiving touchdowns, joining Jerry Rice and Tio as the only San Francisco players with 500 or more career receptions and 50 or more career receiving touchdowns. So that is incredible that he's doing it for as long as he has, and now he's doing it now. But let's get back to the Brock Purdy of it all. This is a show that is, I think, on multiple occasions, caped for Mac Jones to keep his job. And Mac Jones did what a backup quarterback
Mac Jones was awesome this year.
Supposed to do.
Mac Jones is going to be a starting quarterback in this league.
Maybe so.
Next season.
And I don't know about next season. They got him on the contract for a second
trade for
year.
him. I feel like somebody will trade for him.
Okay. And if I'm San Francisco, I'm like, I don't know if I do that. I might turn to Mac and just say,
you would for a 3rd-round pick, I think.
I don't know if I do it.
Okay.
Because this season, with Bosa and Fred Warner going down, which is why I'm going to push back on them winning the whole conference, despite Robert Sala's remarkable talents to coordinate. Okay. They also just still, it's a good thing the offense went off because Jacoby Brissett
had himself a day.
Well, and they just give up too many yards, man. So
yes, but when you talk about offenses being less than this season, I think San Francisco has one of the better offenses in the league, and who's going to keep up with them point for point?
Or will they run into a defense that will force them to keep point for point with you?
Perhaps.
So with the Rams having split with them, they don't see the Rams again, and nor the Rams see them again unless it's a third time in SoFi. Because, again, the Niners are just too far back to be in a position. I think they do make the playoffs, and I think they will be a tough out. And it could be at this point in time, 49ers and Rams in the wild card round.
Yeah, but I would imagine they're not going to be 7th, right? So you would take them right now on the road in Tampa or Chicago, right?
Yes, I would.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think they could win a playoff game. I just think winning the conference is too tall an order. Okay. But I just wanted to linger on the fact that Brock Purdy makes them better than they did with Mac Jones.
I think you could see how the offense clicks better with him back there. While Mac Jones did play.
And by the way, Ayuk, let's hope he returns and is more than just a shadow of his former self. So Niners have got to feel really good about themselves. Their next game, let me get this down right, is home for New Orleans. And then they're home for Atlanta, which is falling completely apart.
Yeah, so feels like those are 2 wins coming up.
Yeah, it sure does. What else?
3 more, Rich. Got to talk about this guy because he had himself an absolute day. Congrats if you played Josh Allen in fantasy on Sunday. Josh Allen single-handedly makes the Bills the most scary team in the AFC.
Well, I mean, single-handedly, he makes the Bills as scary on a Sunday. But, you know, the Dolphins showed you can take care of them. The Falcons showed you can take care of them.
Sure, I'm talking in January. If you see the Bills, you should be in trouble because of Josh Allen, though.
Dude.
He's kind of doing it all by himself.
The scariest team in the AFC. Well, I mean, scary meaning he can just
have
one of those
6 touchdowns
days.
And it's night, even though you're probably a better team than them. Like Josh Allen could go into Foxborough and single-handedly take out the Pats.
Let me tell you,
with a 6-touchdown game.
Let me tell you a team that scares me more than
he could go into Baltimore.
That's the one, man. The Ravens would scare me playing them.
Oh, no.
Throw them against the Browns out. They lose to the Browns every year. By the way, the last time that they didn't lose to the Browns in a season, they just swept them for the first time since the COVID year of 2020. You throw the Ravens and the Browns out,
we're going to talk about the AFC
brother.
North in a second.
Okay. Josh Allen, you give him his flowers. He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's superb. He is.
And that's another team that really messed up not getting any help at the deadline on offense for this guy.
Well, one thing that, by the way, happy scoregami, there's never been a 44-32 final score. And what he's done is unreal. And everybody's after Joe Brady, but do you know that the Buffalo Bills offense has scored 30 or more points in 6 of 10 games this season? The only team that has more are the Colts. And
their defense has been kind of hot garbage, so they need to.
They're the only team in the NFL that's got 2 wins this season when giving up 30 or more points. And it's the game that we just saw
and the
opener.
Yeah.
You know, and that is kind of wild, man.
He also has to do it because they can't stop anyone on the run. The Bucs' 3rd-string running back had 3 touchdowns. Shout out Sean Tucker, Syracuse.
And the only 2 teams that's lost in the NFL on the road this year, despite having over 200 yards rushing, are the Ravens in week 1 and the Bucs in this past week, because the Bills' offense with Josh Allen, when it's rolling like this, I think it definitely caused many people to text their friends like you texted the group saying, who the hell is Tyrell Shavers?
Ernie Shavers?
So, yes, the Bills can be scary when Josh Allen's off the charts. This just in. But at the end of the day, can he continue to do it? He can carry them all the way to the podium. Yes. That's so sure.
Okay.
I'll say that. But the Ravens scare me more because their defense is playing lights out and the Bills' defense is not.
Well, and
Lamar Jackson can be just as scary as this guy.
Anyone's going to look lights out against Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders.
But he didn't look lights out. As a matter of fact, it was the first time that Lamar's ever won a game with no touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He's never done that before. So the Ravens defense makes them scary in a way that the Bills are not scary.
That's what I'm saying. The Ravens
and the
defense.
Ravens offense with their MVP quarterback could be just as insanely productive as we just saw Josh Allen do it.
All right, well, let's talk about the AFC North then.
Please.
I think this division is so cooked. The AFC North is going to go winless in the playoffs.
I don't think that's an overreaction.
After what you just said about the Ravens?
I just said that they're just as scary. The Bills could go winless in the playoffs too, pal.
Well, I don't think the Bills are going to win a playoff game, but I
so that's what you just said.
I definitely don't think the Steelers or Ravens are going to.
I think the Ravens absolutely can. I think what's happening
Nothing
right
about
now,
watching either of those teams play, which it feels like they're both going to make the playoffs, depending on how injured Aaron Rodgers is. It just feels like, gosh, they're just so blah on offense.
Dude, the Ravens, in the same way that I keep saying everybody's blah on offense. This just in. This is kind of a theme for our show
but
here.
Those teams are not going to win playoff games. You have to at least score some points.
I don't know about that. Maybe not this year. The Ravens' defense has been absolutely spectacular.
Again, and that was my point. Gabriel and Sanders are going to make you look spectacular.
But they've done it against more than just these two. They've allowed fewer than 20 points in 5 straight games. 5.
Who have they played in those 5 straight games?
Their last 5, at Cleveland, at Minnesota, at Miami. Say what you will, laugh all you want, but Tua has now been a little bit on point. As a matter of fact, the only game the Dolphins have lost in the last month was that clunker against the Ravens. And then they were home for Chicago.
Okay.
So that's the 4th. And then before that, it was against the Rams, who lost Puka in that game. But it was against the Rams, who we've already established as the best offense in the NFL.
Well, they lost that game.
No other team, they've allowed fewer than 20 points in 5 straight. No other team's done it more than 4 straight this year. And they allowed 37 or more points in 4 of their first 5, as you can see on the screen.
Because they have the Jets and Joe Flacco coming up. Like, they're going to keep looking great.
All you want about who have they really beaten until they face you guys in Week 16, maybe on an 8-game win streak.
Well, they're going to face a real quarterback in that
way. And then we will see rubber meat in the road.
That's going to be a great game, obviously. And they should win all of the games up until that point.
Right. And so if you take a look, we could see Ravens Bills one more time, also in the playoffs. And we all know, in the same way that the Chiefs have been the Bills' Achilles heel / kryptonite in the playoffs, the Bills are that for the Ravens too. So that would be a massive wild card weekend contest.
Yeah, I just think the Ravens are kind of in the Bills territory for me right now. It's I'm not impressed until they do it in the playoffs.
I'll call this a proper reaction right now because I understand you saying that. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think the Ravens are going to win the division and will have the best chance to win one because their defense is on point and maybe just Lamar still getting his sea legs under him. I will just give him that right now. But they just won a big-time game on the road in division in a spot where they frequently lose against a franchise that they have massive head issues, even though a lot of these people weren't born
none of them,
when Cleveland moved and got reconstituted.
For sure.
You got last one?
All right, last one. And let's talk about, it's maybe the least sexy division, but it's worth bearing to talk about the NFC South. The Panthers are going to win this division. Carolina is going to win the NFC South.
I'll still say the Bucs are better, and I'll still say the Bucs are better because they've been there and they've done that, and the Panthers have yet to do so. And
something is up with Baker Mayfield now.
Something is up with Baker Mayfield in the fact that he may not be 100%, and he also, at the end of the day, doesn't have Mike Evans, doesn't have Godwin, and doesn't have Bucky Irving.
Yeah.
And that's going to leave a mark. It just is going to, man, even though Sean Tucker had a hell of a day.
Yeah, they may not need Bucky Irving.
By the way, I've got an interesting stat for you on the flagship show about that one. So I'm kind of leaving our podcast listeners, and it does involve that, by the way. But let's just say this, though. I'll call this an overreaction for the moment.
I mean, T-Mac finally had his breakout game that, at least fantasy managers have been waiting for all season. Bryce Young really had a day. I mean, I just went higher register, but I don't think there's any reason why this team can't do this the way the Bucs are sliding.
100% agree, and the last 3 games will be the answer to this because they have yet to play Tampa.
Right.
Tampa and Carolina played 2 of the last 3 games.
There you go.
Well,
year. Then that'll decide the division.
Okay, Carolina is home for Tampa in Week 15. week 16, pardon me, and at Tampa in the last game of the season, with a home date against Seattle in between.
Ooh, that's
and
tough.
that game, by the way, may be the game on NFL Network that I'm calling. There's a couple of games that are in the ether right now. I might be calling Seattle at Carolina because that may be just way up in the air for divisions and playoff positioning because Carolina just came up with a monster game, 448 pass yards from Bryce Young. I will just say this for the moment, okay? I believe Irving and Godwin, well, certainly Irving should be back for those final three.
they did practice this week. So
Godwin,
both of them.
should be back for all of that.
Should.
Okay. And Tampa's next game is here against the Rams. So, in Carolina.
Again, that's not looking good.
And Carolina's next game is, by the way, at San Francisco on a Monday night. How's that one shaping up now? Right?
We probably would have thought that would have been flexed out, but now that's
Not anymore.
Kind of must see.
So here's what I will say. By the way, I don't know how many times we've seen, although we probably have seen it before, Stafford's first drafted overall. A guy drafted first overall, a guy drafted last overall on that Monday night game. But what Carolina has done, for sure, is surpassed Atlanta in leapfrogging.
Yeah, and there's
to
reports
be as close to winning the division.
And there's reports Monday that Michael Penix is out for the season.
So here's a scoop, man, is that Carolina just came up with their third straight road win for the first time since 2019. Carolina just swept Atlanta for the first time since 2013 and only the fourth time in the history of the franchise. It's the second straight and third time in the last four meetings at Atlanta that this game went to overtime, and Carolina is now 2-1 in those games. So what's happened now, is Dave Canales has come in and has 100% figured out what's best for Bryce Young, and who knew it was benching him almost at the outset of their relationship.
Right.
And what Carolina has done is gotten into the NFC South diamond lane and waved at Atlanta that doesn't have enough people in the car to ride in that diamond lane. Yep. And that's pretty damn impressive. But at the end of the day, I still believe Tampa has the guys who have been there and done that, and they're going to get more of those back healthy, and they should win this division. But Carolina can win it. I'll just call this for the moment, even though Carolina's just a half game back. They both have tough games at NFC West teams. Mm-hmm. I believe they're both going to lose those games. And we'll see what happens. But Carolina's in the mix. I think Tampa's still better. They have the experience, and they're going to get more experienced guys back. But I could be wrong at the end of the day. That said,
it's fun.
Kudos to them for the moment.
Yeah.
And now surpassing Atlanta, which I think it's going to be tough for the Falcons to swallow that. But it's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff, Christopher.
All right, buddy.
Well
There we
done.
go.
Well done. The Overreaction Monday podcast is in the books. No Contest Wrestling, Jim Jackson Show, other offerings from the Rich Eisen Podcast Network that you can get through our YouTube channel, as well as however you get your podcast to listen to.
Let's do it.
We say for those who watch us all the time on our YouTube channel, we appreciate it. Also, 4:30 Eastern is how you can watch the cut-down version of this if you just listen to us on ESPN2. We're on linear cable, baby.
Look at us.
For Chris, I'm Rich. Peace out. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.